So the topic I'm going to be talking about is the question that you brought up in the last week's module, which was what happens when queer cinema enters the mainstream, and does it lose its radicalness once it starts entering the mainstream? And I think that question really did turn the gears for once in my head. And I do. At first, I dismissed it, like the question, thinking like, oh, since it's dealing with, I guess in my head, since it was dealing with queerness, I thought that's always a highly debated among thing in society, right? So I thought since it's always dealing with that topic, then it's always going to be radical. But that's not true. Like I mentioned, Moonlight and other films like I Love Simon or whatever it's called, or Bros or whatnot, or well, not Bottoms is more out there, but like those are like those, except for Moonlight, but mainly Love Simon and Bros are like kind of like the acceptable, like they do remind me for some reason of heteronormativity, especially Love Simon, which is I do think that is like that's a weird movie. But anyway, I don't want to get too off topic, but I do think in order for queer cinema to gain back its radicalness, its edge, right, is to, I think you have to delve into specific topics that are highly debated now. So I would say a specific one, I mean, you would probably have to delve into trans filmmaking at that point, where you have to deal with lots of topics, trans people in sports and politics and a bunch of stuff. I think if you deal with films, if you make films dealing with that topic from that point of view of a trans character, then that's when you start to gain back its radical edge, because it's you're centering the film on a protagonist that is basically not like it. That you're centering the film on a protagonist, and their existence in general is being debated by all of society, all of American society right now. So I think that's how you regain your radicalness in queer cinema. I think that's just how it is in most cinema places. If you want to gain back your radicalness, you have to go after certain topics that are, I guess, like like newsworthy. That'll bring attention to your film right away. And I think a normal way to get around it is to, like, adhere to the heteronormativity and the respectability of politics, and have like one trans character in your film and have them surrounded by a bunch of straight people, which sounds like probably the Hollywood way to go. But if you want to go full on radicalism, you would probably make a film just full of just of trans characters, and see how they live and how they react to the world. That way you get their perspective. You just got to find a new perspective that could be highly debated in society, right? That's what I'm getting at.